Hi, I'm coming to you live from, well, almost my awkward garden because, as you may be able to see, it is raining. But as it is near the end of January, I thought we'd talk about New Year's resolutions. According to Statista, almost 72% of us Brits would have made a New Year's resolution. In terms of numbers, that is 40 million. 40 million of you and I would have made a New Year's resolution, and most of it, according to Statista, would have been about something to do with health. I want to run more. I want to eat better. I want to sleep better. I want to exercise more. Something like that. Okay, I can't do this. This is getting wet. Okay, quick change of location here. No longer in the awkward back garden because the rain started pouring. But as I was saying, New Year's resolutions around the most common kind of New Year's resolutions are health related or fitness related. I want to run more, I want to go to the gym more, I want to eat better. All good things here because here in the UK, the single biggest source of government expenditure, and that's money coming from you and I through our taxes, are our healthcare services. In fact, in the last financial year, we spent around 190 billion with a B, which is 190 000 pounds on providing healthcare services to a nation. And that is a lot of money. According to the Manchester Metropolitan University, there's roughly about £8 billion to be saved. And if we just improved our exercise and eating habits. So all good things, right? Do you yourself have a New Year's resolution? If so, what is it? And how are you doing it so far? Because that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. Because by the time January comes around, the first 10 days of January comes around, 92% of those people who have made the 40 million that I talked about, those people that made a New Year's resolution, you and I, 92% of the people would have dropped out, would have quitted. There's even a phenomenon called Quitters Day, which is normally around the 10th to 11th of January, where the majority of the people that have made a resolution would have quitted by then, would have given up, would have dropped out of it. So today, I kind of want to talk to you about how we can extend our New Year's resolutions further into the year without giving up so early on in January. I want to share with you what's worked well with me in the past and what I've seen work well in other people, and hopefully some of that would be useful to you. So, number one is define your goal. You've set yourself a goal. Like, I want to exercise more, I want to eat better, I want to spend less money. But what does that actually mean? What does it actually look like? I've had so many friends over the last few years come up to me to talk to me about wanting to run more, wanting to cycle more. So when I ask them, what do they actually want to do? Well, what do they actually want to run? They don't know really what they want to achieve. They don't really know what I mean by that. They don't even know what they're set in sight, what the idea is. If we take running as an example, do you want to run 1 kilometer or do you want to run an ultra marathon? Somewhere in between, perhaps. Most people usually are. Any of those answers are valid, but you need a concrete goal. You need something something tangible for you to latch onto and hold onto and to strive for, which moves on to my second point. You want to keep it small, silly. If you watch The American Office, you would have seen a scene where Dwight talks about KISS, which according to The American Office is a sales technique called keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. Great advice. Hurts my feelings every time.
In this instance, we're gonna I want to call it, keep it small, silly. Often, we come up with a big lofty goal. If we use one of the previous example, I want to run 1 kilometer non-stop. But you've never run anything before. 1 kilometer is a very, very big goal. Because often once we set up these big lofty goals, we then feel like it's too far reaching for us to even try. Maybe you went out for your first run and you did 200 meters and then you found it way too hard. Often what happens is, as how our brain works, we find a path to least resistance, which is not run at all. Because that goal is too far reaching, you might as well not try. When this happens, we need to offer our brain an alternative, and second easiest path, so that rather than going 5 steps up, we just go 1 step up instead of giving up, because we don't want to give up, but we don't want to put too much work either. Find yourself some attainable goals on the way to the big goal. If your goal is to run that 1 kilometer, maybe you should set yourself a smaller goal. Today, I'm just going to run 200 meters non-stop. And then 2 weeks time, I'm going to run 300 meters non-stop. Slowly but surely, with small attainable goals, maybe you can get to the big goal. If your goal is to incorporate strength training, and you will have multiple roadblocks such as, I don't know what I'm doing in the gym. The classes don't really work with my schedule. I can't afford the gym fees. Maybe you can start small. You can start watching YouTube videos that are free. You can use your body weight as a weight. Once upon a time, I found I had an old tire that I had to scrap. Instead of, I kept it and I used it as a weight. I used it as a sort of squat weight. I use it to do crutches. Find as many things you can do without actually getting to a roadblock, and then build yourself back up to it. Because once in this scenario, if you've built up enough confidence learning from these videos, you feel less afraid going to the gym. That way, you've built enough confidence and you've built some physical abilities and potentially the mental capacity. And through all the free stuff, you've even saved up the money to go buy a new pair of training shoes or go to the gym, paid a monthly subscription fee for the gym. Last year, my goal was to run 600 kilometers, which at the start of it, I thought was impossible. Eventually, I did the maths because even though 600 sounds big, it sounds way less because when you do the math, it's 50 kilometers a month. If you divide it even further, it's actually just about 12 kilometers a week, which suddenly feels a lot more attainable. Finally, my last point is don't do it alone. Have someone or something encourage you along the way that helps you keep and create accountability. When I was doing my weight loss journey last year, I used an app that allowed me to input my weight every day as well as my calorie intake every day. It's just for me to keep myself accountable. Alongside that, I started talking to my friends about my running progress, sharing my data to a few of my trusted friends. I don't always run with them, but they can help me understand the data better and then give me advice, and I can talk to them about what works well for me and vice versa. When I'm feeling discouraged or when I'm not feeling great about my running, they in turn encourage me about my running, which relights a fire in me. So often when we're doing it alone, it feels so lonely. It feels like a very tiring journey. It can easily break us down. But it's also fun to run along with friends. It's also fun to cycle along with friends, going to the gym with friends, doing it with people. Just because you feel like you're not good enough doesn't mean they don't want you along with their journey. It makes it so much easier knowing that there's someone out there supporting you. It's much easier to break one stick than to break a bundle together. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to find tools, especially since most people that I know that are passionate, truly passionate about something, they want to help other people start on their journey about this thing that they're passionate about. I've also found finding and asking advice for Reddit has also helped me quite a lot. I know the internet is a big scary place, but I assure you there are more helpful people than there are bullies on the internet. But whatever that looks like, find whatever that works, just don't do it alone. So here are a few things that I found useful for me last year. I hope you found them useful. Let me know what your New Year's resolutions are in the comment section below, and let's work this out together this year. Let's not be quitters in January. See you in the next one.